The war on Christmas begins. A church ad banned from the D.C. transit system for being too religious. The Archdiocese of Washington now filing a lawsuit to challenge the decision. Here now is the Secretary of Communications representing that Archdiocese, Ed McFadden. Ed, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Had you guys purchased ad space from the transit system before?
We had for about 10 years before 2015, when they instituted these new guidelines around advertising they would accept or decline.
So, and we do have a statement here referencing what you're talking about, and it says, in 2015, WMATA changed its advertising space to a non-public and prohibits issue-oriented advertising, including political, religious, and advocacy advertising. The ad in question was declined because it is prohibited by WMATA's current advertising guidelines. So that happened in 2015. Did you guys try to do this again last year, or did you take a year off and now you thought maybe we'll try again this year?
Yeah, I think the first time that we dealt with these was when Pope Francis came to the United States 2 years ago, and they declined the advertising that we had proposed back then to promote the papal visit, in part because the Maryland flag was included in the advertising, which has a cross in it, and they asked us to take the cross out of the flag, which at that point we realized this is just too ridiculous. We aren't going to bother with it. So
we just showed the advertising that you guys wanted to have this year, and it has the three wise men, and it talks about the perfect gift. You can see it right there. What did they say is wrong with it?
Nothing. They indicated it was too religious. Part of the problem here is there's no transparency in the review process. So once we appealed, we had no idea who was looking at the ad, what their thoughts were. The only indication that we got early on was if we were willing to sell something, if we were or selling something, the commerce angle might have worked, and they said they would try to work with us on that. But you know, this is about Christmas. It's not about. It's reminding people. This campaign, Find the Perfect Gift, is about encouraging people to find a more spiritual facet of Christmas in their lives. It's not about selling anything or commercialism. And that's what Christmas is about, right?
Exactly. I mean, is it not?
Right. I mean, I really, you know, if you go to findtheperfectgift.org, what you're going to find is the opportunity to add a little bit more spirituality to your life, whether it's going to Christmas Mass, maybe use an Advent wreath for your family at dinner time, or maybe volunteer at a soup kitchen or to help the homeless. All those things are available, and that'll add a little bit more and remind people why we celebrate Christmas in the first place.
You know, the Archdiocese filed legal action in federal court. I guess my last question to you is, what are you hoping to see come of this?
Well, we'd like the guidelines adjusted to make them a little bit more sensible, but really what we want is our ads to be able to run. We think that we have a First Amendment right to express our views and to share our faith, and to encourage other people to, at least in this case, remember why we celebrate Christmas. You just can't take Christ out of Christmas, especially at this time of year and at this stage with our society, where that kind of positive message we think would be very helpful.
Ed McFadden, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you.
Thanks a lot.